Welcome, everyone. I'm your host for tonight, John Crawl, and I'm joined by our whole flock of ducks tonight. We've got Jody B.
Hi, friends.
Kevin.
Hello there.
Lonnie G, also known as Pumpkin Spice.
Hello, everyone.
And Jean.
My favorite Spice Girl, Pumpkin Spice. Hi, friends.
All right. Well, it's mid-August here when we're recording, so it's interesting because Lonnie, your name Pumpkin Spice, the PSL is coming out here probably in the next few weeks, and I'm pretty stoked. Everybody in my
always comes out around my birthday.
Yeah. When's your birthday, Jody?
The last day of August.
So the 31st.
It is.
Okay. All right. Well, that's awesome that you have your birthday coming up. And I think a good birthday present for Jody would be if anybody's listening and they like what they are hearing from us, go over to your podcatcher and leave us a review. It's one of those things that's free to do. It helps people find us. It gets us in the algorithm when more people are interacting with our show. So yeah, get out there and please leave us a 5-star review, or I mean, even 10 stars, right? Like vote twice if you can, because we could use it and it'll help the community grow a little bit. All right. So one of the 5-star reviews we have received lately is from STMKE. And they said that my kids and I enjoy listening to your podcast on our way to school and to and from the many sports practices that fill our days. I feel you on that one. You make your audience feel like one of the crew, and it's evident that your friendships are genuine. That's good.
Oh, thank you so much.
We appreciate your positivity, fun, and ability to fill our time in the car with all things Disney. Thanks for taking the time to make us laugh. Well, thank you for listening and for taking the time to go and give us a review. So if anybody else can get out there and give us a review, write something fun, and we'll probably read it on a future show.
That's proof that I'm a great actor because I don't like Gene, and they think that we have genuine friendship. So there you go.
Yeah, Lonnie, you should join like the next tryouts for like a walk-on actor or something. After
He's a thespian.
I am a thespian. To be or not to be?
That's the question. But you know, speaking of questions, one of the things we do every week is try to get an opportunity to learn a little bit about us, about each of us. So we're going to ask a question this week, and the question for this week is, what was your favorite Halloween costume as a kid? So, Jody, let's start with you.
Okay. This was a no-brainer. So I'm a kid born in the mid-70s. Wonder Woman was the rage. I wore the Wonder Woman underoos. Do you guys remember underoos? At least two of you know what underoos are. The other two are maybe too little young. So I had the underoos. And then to make my Wonder Woman bracelets, we took the oatmeal box, you know, the Quaker Oats in the box, and we cut the oatmeal and then we wrapped tinfoil around the oatmeal box, and those were my power wands for Wonder Woman. So I was Wonder Woman with the oatmeal box, Wonder Woman and power things with my underoos on, and that was the best costume ever. I still remember everybody wore underoos back in the year, you know, like in the mid-70s. That was your Halloween.
Some of our parents didn't let us wear them out of the house, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah, well, I wore like the like long johns under them and on top, under, you know, come on, Jean. I'm in the Midwest.
Cincinnati in the 70s.
Everything was covered up everywhere. So with
I mean, you hear about Midwest values. I don't know what kind of values you're talking about.
It's all good in Kentucky. We would walk around like that outside. It's no big deal.
Yeah, nobody in Louisiana ever walked around their underwear.
Okay, so I had the long johns on under the underoos with my Quaker Oat squares, aluminum foil arm bracelets to be Wonder Woman, and that was the best Halloween ever. That was the best Halloween ever.
That is awesome, because now all the costumes are completely store-bought, right? And I think it takes a lot of like kind of the magic and fun out of it, of having to cobble something together as a kid and having ownership.
I mean, seriously, aluminum foil. I mean, that fixes everything. Yeah. Aluminum foil and duct tape. You can make.
There you go. All right, Kevin, what was your favorite costume that you remember from being a kid?
I know you all are thinking it has to be Star Wars, right? I mean, you know it has to be. But actually, I'll give you 2 words: Hello Kitty. No, I'm just kidding. It was Star Wars, and it was Yoda. And my mom made me a Yoda robe, and I was just the right height, and I had a little cane. But you know, growing up in rural, growing up on a farm, we didn't have a lot of places to go trick or treating. So my mom worked in a nursing home, and so that's where I went trick or treating as Yoda. nobody there knew who I was. They thought I was a new resident. They like, hey, who's the new guy in room 12? Like with the green head. I'm like, all right, give me some candy. So it worked. It was fun.
Benjamin
Yeah,
Button.
yeah.
That's good stuff.
So Yoda, that was my favorite.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
Story.
Gene, what do you remember as being a favorite?
Yeah, so I love Halloween. I have not dressed up in a number of years, but even as a young adult, like I got into it and made some pretty elaborate costumes. But as a kid, my mom was a seamstress, and that's what she did. That was what she did for a job. And so she made a lot of things. She made a lot of costumes over the years. But when I was at one point, I love superheroes. Batman is my favorite superhero. My most memorable costume when I was a kid was a Batman costume that she made. And my brother, who is 5 years younger, she made a Robin costume for him. So we were Batman and Robin. It was perfect. And the best part of the costume, and she made the costume, but there was a utility belt. I was going to ask the question, what's Batman's, best weapon? It's a utility belt, apart from his mind. But there was a utility belt that was, it had a communicator in it. It had a batarang in it. It had all kind of stuff. And it was amazing. There's a picture probably in a box somewhere of my brother and I in those costumes. And it's just a great memory.
That's so cool that your mom could do that and make awesome costumes like that. That's awesome. Because do you guys remember the plastic masks that you had to put on? They were terrible. Yeah. I just remember those.
You guys, I'm sorry, Lonnie, I don't mean to, or Gene, I don't mean to have you not answer the question, or whoever we're on, but we're redoing my son's room right now, and I found all these Halloween costumes, and we had to pack them all up, and there were all these face mask costumes, and so we were putting them on and trying to breathe through them. Those things are hard to breathe through. I don't know why we did that to kids. Why do we say like, here, suffocate, don't breathe? Although I have to say, during the COVID years, I actually appreciated that costume because it was like, well, now your face isn't exposed to everybody else because you're, covered up from here to here. So.
But Jody, you look at those things now. Think about what we had in the 80s and the 70s for some of us. Like those things were so much worse and so much more toxic.
Like a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have an air hole and a couple of eye holes.
Good luck. Get that candy.
Yeah.
What's funny about that is that even though, I would rather a costume that is created, right? But back then, I remember that like you wanted a store-bought, you wanted a costume with the plastic mask, and it was in the the box with the clear whatever it is, plastic that you could actually see the mask, and that's what you wanted,
Yeah, you felt cool.
Yeah. The only problem is, man, that little cover-up overall you put on was plastic, and in the South it gets hot even at Halloween, and you would sweat, and it would tear, and it was just the craziest thing.
Or it was so cold that you had to wear long johns under that. It could be either or.
Under your underoos,
under your underoos.
Well, Lonnie, did you wear underoos for a lot of your costumes, or does your favorite involve underoos?
No, we didn't put underoos on to go outside. We did have some for inside. In fact, I had a nice collection of the underoos for inside, but not outside. I mean, there are some times I may run outside with them, but quickly my dad would tell me, "Where do I think I live? Get back inside." So, yeah, it's funny. This is a great question. And those costumes with the little clear face, like Gene said, I mean, I had a Batman one, I had a Superman one. So we had had a Green Lantern one. Now, Green Lantern was probably my favorite because you couldn't find that one all over the place. It was at TG&Y. I don't know if you guys remember TG&Y.
Oh yeah.
But as we grew up, we started calling it trash, garbage, and why you bought it. But that's why, it had the best costumes in there. So I would have to go with probably the Green Lantern one, since Gene stole my Batman one. I did enjoy that Batman one for a while. But as Edna Mode says, no capes. Okay. No capes.
Oh, all right. So my favorite Halloween costume from when I was a kid
when
was
you were
actually
like
Ultimate.
7 and innocent.
Yeah, Ultimate Warrior from the WWF.
Nice.
Me and all my buddies were obsessed with wrestling, so we would dress up as the wrestlers. And one of the moms in the neighborhood did the face paint to make us look like the Ultimate Warrior, and it was so fun. But the problem in Michigan, right, is kind of the opposite. What Lonnie you mentioned with the sweating is it's like 30 degrees and snowing or raining sometimes. So
Wow.
we're out there in full jackets and parkas and stuff with just part of your mask showing. So it's a completely different experience up here. But yeah, I think that's probably my favorite. It was one of those kind of homemade ones where friend's mom painted our faces and we felt like the Ultimate Warrior for the night.
John, please tell me y'all ran from house to house like the Ultimate Warrior used to run.
And we get there and start shaking. Yeah.
Shaking outside. Yes.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I had pictures of that. Love the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, he was the best. He was my favorite wrestler. Oh man. So if we ever do that question, you guys will know what I'll say. The Ultimate Warrior. But so we're talking about Halloween. It's mid-August here. It's August 13th when we're recording this. Disney has already had their first Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. So tonight what we're going to talk about is kind of the experience of being at Walt Disney World during the fall and what it's like to go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party at the Magic Kingdom, which is a really cool party that they have a couple times a week, and it runs from August 11th until November 1st. So the day after Halloween is the last one. And if you're hearing the show and you think you might want to go, you probably want to go get tickets because they've already sold out the first 7 nights plus Halloween night. So there's probably a third or so of the shows are already sold out. So it's one of those things. It's a hard ticket event that you have to buy a ticket for separately, like you do for the Christmas party. And then once you get inside, it's amazing. So how many of you guys have been to the Not So Scary Halloween party? So Jody has. I've been once too.
I've been to Not So Scary and the Boo Bash during COVID years.
Wow.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
So that's a good perspective then, because yeah, I've only been to. We went to one, and it was in 2016 was when we went. So I haven't been back in the fall since then. But yeah, it's such a fun event because it's one of those parties, like we mentioned. It's a hard ticket event, so you buy a ticket for it, but the prices range quite a bit on this. I think it gets up to close. It's about $200 around Halloween.
Wow.
So
just put that in perspective. That's more than a single day ticket. So
that's right.
Most single day tickets are and I'm guesstimating here, but 120 to 140, and all of a sudden you've got a party event which is shortened hours, but you get all these extra things going on, and it's 180, 200, etc. So you really have to think about, is it worth your bang for your buck there? Like what if you're there for the party or if you're there for the experience of going to the parks. So you kind of have to decide what's most important to you and how you're going to spend your dollars.
Yeah. So me and my family are going for the first time. We've never been. We're going around the first week of October. And I think it runs like 170 per person, 160 for kids that are under 10. We'll be going on that Monday, the 9th. So looking at taking a family that's never been to Disney, and we're going to pick one day to do that Monday, and then we're also going to do a park day another day. Turns out that during those weeks, sometimes they have multiple parties during the week, and one day they don't have one. So we're going to try to go to the park and experience the full day of the park when they don't have the shortened hours. So if you don't go to, like Jody said, if you're not going to go to the party, keep in mind if there is a party, the hours are quite a bit shortened. Sometimes 6 o'clock. I think.
Yeah.
And with the ticket, you can enter the park at 4 for the party. So and that goes until midnight. So.
Yeah. And with it being an event you have to buy a ticket to, attendance is controlled by Disney. So it's a lower crowd level event than during the regular day. So that's part of the allure of the parties too, is you have all the awesome decorations, the unique events, but then the lines for rides are really short. Like when we went, I mean, again, it was 2016, but we didn't wait in line for anything. It was awesome. It was such a fun part of the party.
And most everything is open, right? I mean, is there any of the big attractions that are closed during that you know of?
Well, not closed. I know some of the things are, like if you look at the laugh floor, right? That's a spot where they actually give candy away. So it's not the set usual, as you go in and you sit down and you do all that kind of stuff. It's more of a walkthrough, but they still have some additional jokes and things of that nature. So they're up there, but it's not the same. But it does bring an interesting perspective. Kevin, you mentioned about going into the party actually starts at 7 to midnight, but you can go in at 4. You start to clear the park out. And I find that, there's 2 ways to approach it. One is, you know what, I'm going to go to Magic Kingdom that day because a lot of people are not going to go because they have to leave out so early.
That's a good
So
point.
sometimes it's less, fewer people there during the day before the day of a party, right? And then at that point, you can kind of park hop and go over to somewhere else once they kind of boot you out there for everybody else. So you can say, hey, I'm going to do that. Or to Jody's point, you got to kind of force rank some things because you don't have that many hours and it's an expensive proposition. But if you're going in at 4, you're getting out at midnight, you can do everything. Plus, there is candy, right? I don't know about you guys. I like candy, right? So, I mean, there's some characters that you can see that you won't see usually, like the 7 dwarves are there now all at one time, right?
All of
So
them.
there's some things you can do.
All of
All of them.
Even
All of them.
Sneezy?
All 7.
All of them. All 7.
And I will
That's
tell you
dope.
guys a story about that later, but
But wait,
Mhm.
Grumpy?
all of
All
them.
of them.
Wow.
Each every
All
single.
of them.
And I've
Seven.
never seen them all together except
I
at
haven't
like
either.
an event like that, right? And Jody seen them.
Huh.
So, Jean, have you ever been during this time of year?
Yes, the first time that I went, and really went and it had an experience. We went for a week, this time of year, the end of September, beginning of October. But we didn't do the Mickey's So Scary, whatever. We didn't do that.
But you got all the decorations down Main
Yeah.
Street and
Yes.
the various parks. So to me, that even if you choose not to do the hard ticket event, because let's be very honest, it's very, very expensive. So you're
Yeah.
talking a family of 4 at least.
$700.
How much?
$700.
Yeah, so $700, right? So that's not chump change, okay? So when you're thinking about when you do Disney tickets, the longer you stay, the cheaper your tickets get. So if you do a 2-day ticket, it's really expensive. If you do a 7-day ticket, every day that you add on, your ticket gets less and less and less expensive. So if you're there during the fall season and you were like, I want to see all the fall things, all the fall like pumpkin things out, and the pumpkin spice latte, and the pumpkin cupcakes, and the pumpkin this and the pumpkin that, just for you, Jean, because I know that you like your pumpkin. All the pumpkin things, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
They do look really cool though because they have them all on every light fixture
On
and
every
everything has
They're
like
really cool,
the
but
Mickey
I'm saying
Jack Lantern.
you have to balance it out because it's very, very expensive to do a hard ticket event, but they do offer all those extras during the day, like all those decorations and feelings and the snacks. A lot of the snacks are out during the day. A lot of the opportunities are out during the day. Not the hard ticket event. Like you can't meet the 7 dwarfs during the day. You can meet them during the party, but you can't meet them during the day. So you have to kind of balance out what's important to you. And fall time at Disney is personally my favorite time. I love it there. I love fall in general. It's my favorite time of the year. So maybe that has something to do with it. But all the parks have a little bit of special something going on. Like Epcot has Food and Wine Festival, and then Hollywood Studios has other stuff going on. Even Animal Kingdom has some fall festives going on. Like the feeling it's just different. So you gotta get it out.
Yeah,
One of
and
my
I know
favorites
Kevin. I'm
gonna
sorry,
say,
Kevin. Go ahead.
I was going to say one of my favorite times that I've ever gone. I mean, of course, Christmas is always my favorite with the decorations. But one of the times that I went with the family down there during that time, we didn't do the party, but did the decorations are amazing. I mean, it's like a fall festival kind of feel, but just with the Mickey on top of everything, and just the decorations are gorgeous. I mean, it's really something to see. So don't let the party scare you away from Magic Kingdom at all.
Kevin mentioned I think for $700. When you go to Disney at that time of year, look, that's not your money. That's Mickey's money.
Yeah.
Give him his money. It's his money. It's not your money. So pay it, do it. Some things like the Headless Horseman for and I'm sure we'll dig into some of the actual things you can do at the party, but some things that you won't see anywhere else or any other time at Disney other than this time. So I guess you have to weigh it. Do you want to see those things? Is it worth it to you? Or would you like, hey, I'll do something else and don't do the party?
Well, and something else too, beyond the treats and stuff like that, it is, I believe, the only time other than maybe a race weekend when you can actually wear costumes into the park. As an adult. So I mean, there are guidelines and they have those listed.
No face costumes. So
Right.
nothing with a face, and no weapons, of course. Like no, got to be really careful about what you do. But for the most part, my family and I have gone to 2 Mickey Not So Scary and 1 Boo Bash, and because of the weather, we've been very, let's say, casual about our costumes because it's been so hot. So we've done something that like more like I don't want to call it bounding because we've done mine. So the seagulls, mine. We've done those costumes before. We did Huey, Dewey, and Louie. That was easy, just with the beaks and the shirts. But it gets really, really hot. But you can't do anything that covers your face, and you can't do anything with a sword or weapon or so Star Wars fans, Jack Sparrow fans, anything with that stuff, you got to be really, really careful because they won't let you in with it. They'll
You can have a sword if you buy it there, though, can't you?
Pardon me?
I said you can have a sword if you buy it there, though, can't
Buy
you?
it there,
Of course.
but you can't bring it into the gate.
Yeah, Jody, I'm so glad that you actually clarified because you said mine, and my mind went to mime, and I thought you were like walking around the park
I know.
doing this, you know. And
Eagle
I'm like, how she
mime.
had all
That's
those
interesting.
that striped long sleeve shirt on and pants doing the mime thing? I don't know, but yeah. So,
But yeah, no, Lonnie, you mentioned
Like
there's
the rope thing?
unique things you can do. Yeah, there's unique things you can do at the party that you can't do during the park any other time. So let's talk about some of those. I mean, there's ones that are like the Dapper Dans. If everybody remembers who those guys are and they sing on Main Street, they're really cool to see. But they turn into the Cadaver Dans, and that's one of my favorites because they have like, you know, they look like dead body. Yeah, it's awesome. It's so cool, and they're just such good singers and stuff. So that's one of the fun things. Alana, you mentioned the Headless Horseman. He kicks off one of the coolest events, right?
Yes, he does. I know Jody loves this one, so I'm gonna turn it over to her to talk about the parade.
So I'm not. Parades are fine. They're great. I mean, you see them once, you see them, and they're fine. But the parade during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which again is a hard ticket event, so you're spending extra money. I would strongly suggest that you see the parade. Most evenings during the party, it's offered 2 times, early and late. People with young families tend to do the early party, which makes sense because you've got to get your kids to bed. If you could hang on and do the late event, that would be absolutely awesome. But the Headless Horseman comes riding down Main Street. Well, he starts down by the formerly known as Splash Mountain, comes down that way, makes the turn, and comes down Main Street. And he is perhaps my favorite thing I've ever seen in all of Magic Kingdom ever.
That's awesome.
Real horse, it's real person, it's real pumpkin. Like the whole thing is real. Like it's so incredibly real. One time we actually saw it without it because the cobblestones were too slippery for the horse to go down, so they couldn't let the Headless Horseman go. But even if you can't see it, the parade is absolutely phenomenal. The Boo to You parade, it's great. They have Mickey and Minnie and all the characters, but there are 2 things besides the Headless Horseman that I love. Just my opinion, seeing this multiple times. The gravediggers, the dancing gravediggers. So they have these shovels, and they shove the shovels in the ground. They sparks of fire. I don't know. Sparks. I don't know how to explain them. They're so amazing. They're awesome. And they're so in character and they're so in your face and like they're so precise in their moves. And then the ballroom dancers from the Haunted Mansion scene are also my favorite things. So I'm not a great, like people love Jack Skellington and all this stuff. That's not necessarily my thing, but those 2 things from the Haunted Mansion, totally my jam. Love it. Would absolutely positively watch the parade just for those 2 things. Would not skip it. So if the parade is offered, find your space. I like to sit in front of the shooting arcade and in front of oh my gosh, where's the shooting arcade, you guys?
Frontierland?
Yes, thank you, Frontierland. But the like right where
the Country Bears?
Yeah, by Pecos Skulls and Country Bears. That's where I like to sit because it's the beginning of the parade. So they go past you and then you can see it all and then like get on with your evening. But I would absolutely absolutely think that you should watch one of the parades because it's the same parade given twice.
Awesome. And I'm
Very
not
good
much of a
point.
parade person, but it sounds really cool. So
That
I
sounds
want to see it.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
cool.
One of my favorite things that they have is the Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular. I love those like castle stage shows. I think they're so fun. And this one has the Sanderson sisters in it. And it's just a cool show. I've seen it on YouTube a few times and I really like it. But we're a big Hocus Pocus family. So we watch that movie every year at Halloween, usually multiple times throughout the year. So that's one of our favorites too. Have you guys seen that show?
No,
No, it looks really cool. I want to see it in
I
person.
will.
Oh yeah, you should. It's really neat because it's on the castle, and they do it just like the show they do like in the morning, and they have a Christmas one I think too at Christmas time. But yeah, it's a really cool thing.
So Kevin, you keep saying I will, but I think this is the part where we have to really talk about timeline. So the party is only a certain amount of time, and you only have a certain amount of things to do. So you want to go trick or treating, you want to see the characters, you want to see the shows, you want to see the parade, you want to see the fireworks. Like there's a lot going on at a very, very little time. So you have to decide. So Lonnie, Jean,
Yeah, help me prioritize.
you would want to do. I mean, there's only a couple of things that you can do. You can't do it all in one night. So if you're going to pay for a hard ticket event, what would you do?
It's Mickey's
Oh,
money,
and
right?
the characters are out too.
So I was going to say I wouldn't do the characters. I would just walk by them and look at them and say, "Oh, that looks cool," and and not wait in line for an hour to get my picture taken. But that's me. To me, that would be my lowest priority.
Yeah,
I'm with John. Maybe if it's not a long wait, I would try to get the Seven Dwarfs, but usually I know that's going to probably be a big one. Other than that, I'm going to take in the other things, right? The other sites. One thing we didn't talk about, there are also special seasonal treats and stuff there as well, right? So I'm going to go around, eat some of those things, pick up some of those things. I got to hop on my favorite ride, which is Haunted Mansion. There's a little show that's outside by there as well. And they have, real actors there for that. So they actually bring out some ghosts. So, hey, so I'm going to make sure I ride Haunted Mansion.
Is Rosario Dawson going to be there?
Is who?
Rosario
Dawson. I would hope, but I don't know. But
if I'm looking at rides, I know that some of them have overlays. Is there any that are absolutely do not miss? It's a really cool to do that overlay that you know of.
The only one that I would do personally doing this event a couple times is I would definitely do the Haunted Mansion, not necessarily for the ride, but for when you exit the ride. I'm sorry, when you go into the ride, there's something special. When you come out of the ride, there's something special, not necessarily in the ride, but the queue in and out is kind of cool. Space Mountain was also really awesome. They did some pretty cool things during the party, but I wouldn't waste my park ticket. Now, again, having been to the Magic Kingdom multiple times in my life, I would not waste my park ticket money for that special event going on those rides. I would save rides for a regular ticket day.
Now I will say, and it's a new ride, so we don't know. I don't know if they're gonna do something for Tron. Tron, it's I know John loves Tron. At 6 o'clock, I think they're gonna open up the groups for you to try to get a boarding pass for that. There's no live queue or anything like that, and you can't buy an individual lightning lane for that. So, because I've been doing some research for this as well, because Kevin, I'll be going to the party in September. So I've been kind of doing all the kind of research as well, and I have my dates and got our tickets. So we're just waiting for that time. So as I'm sitting here, this show is helping me kind of prioritizing what I'm going to do. I may do Tron just to see if there's going to do something new for that. Other than that, I'm going to, take in such of the sights and things of that nature, and take in as much candy as possible.
Well, that's a good point because you mentioned Tron because we'll be there at night too. So being able to do it at night and would be cool. And then we go back another day and do it during the day. But I'd like to experience that during the night.
You definitely should. It's amazing at night. It's so cool.
Okay, let's talk about candy. Candy during the party is You get so much candy. And if you're a chocolate girl like I am, M&Ms, Mars, Snickers, you get a lot of those.
Reese's.
So no, I don't think we get Reese's.
I don't remember. But it's definitely like way better than
It's
say like
way
your
better
local zoo's trick or treat where you get one Tootsie Roll at each
It's
station.
not
you
like
know?
it's not like a Sweet Hot or something. Like they're it's good candy. It's M&M and a Mars. So a lot of M&Ms, a lot of Milky Ways and Snickers and stuff like that. It's good. It's good candy.
Okay, so you got lots of candy. So
They
what-
give you the bag, so you don't have to bring your own bag, and they scoop it in. But if you have anybody allergy, they give you a
Amazing.
token to say that you're an allergy, whatever, and they will give you an allergy bag that's already pre-filled that hasn't touched any of the other candy. So that's really important. So if you've got any, and you could go back. So if you have an allergy, whether it's dairy or nuts or whatever the allergy may be,
Gluten.
you can gluten, John. You can
Yeah.
keep going back into that same line, just saying we have allergy. They're going to keep giving you more and more. So you're not going to feel like your friends over here have 20,000 pounds of candy and you have like 2 pieces. Like you can keep going back and getting your bag filled, which is, I think is really, really nice of them. I think something that they've really paid attention to over the years. And there are also treats. Has anybody read up on any of the treats that they're offering during the parties?
Yes, I read up on a couple of the the brownie that they have over by Haunted Mansion. Looks pretty good. The little eyes on it. The little key lime, a deconstructed key lime with the little fingers. I don't think I'm thinking I'm gonna pass on that one, just because I don't know. But yeah, it looked like they have a whole lot of different little treats. That's
Wait. I need to back up just a second. So all this talk about candy. So in general, Halloween is and the festivities around Halloween, trick or treating and such, generally, is reserved for children. It's frowned upon for me to dress up in a costume and go door to door and ask, and trick or treat, and hold out my bag. But are you saying it's different at Disney that, like, as an adult,
it sounds
I'm getting
like
candy too? And
It's encouraged.
that's what you're sounding like.
Yeah, and Gene,
if you don't show up as an adult with a bag, your hands open, saying, "Please give me candy at Disney," they're going to look at you like, "What's wrong with you? Why don't you want our candy?" Yeah,
So
they're
you
scoop up the candy and put it in your bag.
you
And they're
collect your own.
bag.
You collect your own, but then you also still collect the dad tax when you get back to the room and you're sorting the
Well, yeah,
candy.
you got to get your tax, yeah.
Right.
you got to slide it
So
out on the bed.
yeah, it works out pretty well as a parent going there. But also, Gene, to your point about you dressing up at home and going trick-or-treating, what you need to do is borrow a few of my really little kids, and then you take them, and then you take all of the baby. He pays 100% dad tax, right?
Oh, I
on the
bet.
candy.
Yeah.
But then the older ones, they're in that 10 to 20% tax bracket. But you take a few of my kids out with you, you will get a ton of candy.
A long way to go, brother, for some candy. But hey,
I am willing to send them down to you for a few months.
Okay, yeah.
And,
I like
and,
that idea.
and let me make this clear. When you go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, they give you scoops of candy. It's not like a piece or two. It is a scoop. Like I have a scooper in my flour jar that I use when I bake, and it's a pretty big scoop. Like maybe it fills 2 cups or so. This thing is bigger than that. It is a big hunkin' scoop, and they drop it in your bag. Again, they provide you the bag. And if you have any allergies, they will give you a token. You get the token free or the allergy free candy that you need. So it's a win-win-win. So again, this is where I'm talking about. You have to decide what's important to you. For us as a family, we decided that 1 or 2 rides, that's it, because we get to go often. We're very fortunate in that situation. So we're going to focus on meeting special characters, trick-or-treating, and all the extra events that they have for that evening. But if you only get down there, if this is your first or second time, I don't know. Like it's hard. It's hard to choose.
Make it a poll and see what I'll make sure they all listen to this show and they all have a vote. And we'll go from there.
Can you
Here's
ask them to
kinda
leave a
unbelievable.
review once they listen to the show, Kevin? Can we get a
I'll
review?
make it a requirement.
5 stars. 5 stars.
Nice.
Yeah.
5-star review.
Nice.
I'm not saying that I don't believe any of you. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that it's not inconceivable. It's not preposterous. it's just hard for me to get my head around. Let's just say that, I mean, you are paying $200 a ticket. So a big 2-cup scoop, of candy.
$100 a pound of candy. Yep.
So you're you're lugging around a big bag. That's heavy. You might have to put that in your backpack. I don't know.
Yeah. $100 a brick. That's something else. There's so many ways I can go with jokes there, but I'm not just
we want to stay family friendly. Especially, we read the review earlier. They listened to it in the car with their kids. So we really got to rein it in a little bit here, Gene. All right. So another big thing, another big thing they have there too is they have a different fireworks show than the normal Happily Ever After show. So that's really cool too, because they have that during the party, and that one, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy are spirited away to a mysterious haunted house where they encounter dancing skeletons, waltzing ghosts, and a sinister gathering of Disney villains.
Oh my God.
So,
you sound like Gene.
John, I was going to just say, John, are you channeling your inner Gene?
Yeah,
I
used the Google machine. I found the description and I read it like a boss.
I should have given that to Gene to read.
Oh.
So when does that kick off?
That's usually after dark. So you're going in October, so it should be dark fairly early. I think it's 8:30.
Only during party nights.
Yeah, that's only during party nights. On the other nights, it's still just the happily ever after.
Because we have a young one going, and they won't be able to make it till the end. So I didn't want it. I didn't know if they did it at midnight or if they did it sometime before that.
No, it's before that.
Yeah, you just want to give that little one some no-dos and a Red Bull.
Sleep all day.
Yeah,
just put the Red Bull in the sippy cup.
Yep.
But no, that's where the stroller comes in. Just lay the little guy down in the stroller, and you can do whatever you need to do. Watch the fireworks, go on some rides.
Pixie sticks and Mountain Dew works.
Sugar.
Pixie sticks.
That's right.
Works for me. So that's another really cool, fun, unique activity at the parties that you can't see outside the parties. So
I will say, and I feel like I'm fangirling over the parties here, but the parade and the fireworks for this ticket event may be my favorite parade, my favorite fireworks ever at Walt Disney World. More so than Christmas, more so than the regular, more so than any ever. Even more so than some Disneyland experiences. So I really, really love the parade so much. And I'm not a parade girl. I can't sit still. I don't want to sit in my spot. I don't want to wait my spot. I love the parade, but the fireworks are also so cool because they're kind of evil and sinister, but not so scary. Again, Mickey's not so scary. Just on that edge where it's like, a little spooky, a little Ursula, a little Maleficent, a little all these, but not so scary that your kids are going to have nightmares that night. It's, to me, those two events and meeting the characters, which we haven't talked about. So maybe we should talk about a little bit about the characters that are out during the special events.
Yeah, so they have, I think we talked about them a little bit earlier, but they have, most of the characters that come out have a Halloween costume on, which is really cool. So that's one thing, like Mickey and Minnie will come out with the fangs, like they're vampires, and you see Jack Skellington and Sally, which you don't see really a whole lot of other times outside of the race weekends.
And so some people will spend their entire party ticket waiting in line to go see those characters.
So, hey, Jody, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Keep going.
Please go.
So I just wanted to take a quick poll. Lonnie made a claim earlier. He said, I wouldn't spend my time, maybe if the line was short, not spend my time taking pictures with these, waiting in line. Have any of you been to races or been to Disney World with Lonnie? Have you hung out with him? So does anybody really believe that he's not going to stand in line to take pictures with characters?
You know what? If I had a white glove, I would take it off and slap you across the face. You, sir, are challenging me.
Yeah, I just know you. Man.
It's different when that because you only have a certain amount of time. So I have to I have to literally say what I'm going to do.
There's a calling on your life, man. You can't help it. When
you got to see the characters.
You see, I get on with the expectation of not not picking on Gene, but yet he every time I try to get out, he pulls me back in. I try to get out, he pulls me back in. All right, Gene. So I am so sorry, Jody. You were talking about the characters.
I will say my daughter and I,
Mhm.
I don't remember what year it was pre-COVID. She and I spent time to wait in line for the Seven Dwarfs. We decided that was important to us to meet all of them at one time. How many times can you get to do that? We decided that was really, really cool. We're going to go do that. The boys were off doing whatever they were doing, and she and I decided to do that. Ended up being a little bizarre incident with some people in front of us, but we'll save that for another episode. But that was important to us. So we spent our party ticket money to go meet those characters. I know a lot of people spend an hour or and a half to go see Jack and Sally because they don't come out very often. I'm not a big Nightmare Before Christmas person. I don't love it. I saw them on the cruise, so that was great. So I could check that off my list. I don't have to see them again. But if you want to see characters, there are a lot of really, really cool characters out during the parties. But you have to, again, decide what's most important to you. Do you want to see characters? Do you want to trick or treat? Do you want to see the shows? Do you want to ride the rides? Do you want to see the fireworks? There's so much to do in such a little point in time. So, Kevin, have you given any thought to the characters that are going to be out that night?
Not exactly. I'm just trying to kind of see which ones are there. And then, I have to kind of exercise some patience with the group I'm with, and then kind of take them because they've just want to make sure they have a good time too. I mean, a lot of the characters I've seen in races and things like that. So, and I've been quite a bit more. They've never been. So, I mean, if they want to stand in line to meet Mickey, I'll stand in line to meet Mickey. But, I'm gonna give them the tools that we're trying to give here, and let them have the time that they want. I think that's kind of my goal. So
I mean, you all know that at the Princess Race weekend, I stood in line for 40 plus minutes to wait for Maleficent because she is my character. Like if Maleficent said she's coming out, I will spend all $200 just to wait in line for Maleficent. So she was my wait for Princess weekend. I totally ruined my time in my half marathon. I mean, I went from like sub 150 to go to like 220 or something to wait for Maleficent because I was like, I gotta see her. So that was important to me, right? So
well, I will say
you PR'd and fun.
I PR'd a meeting Maleficent, which is all that mattered to me. Like that's all I wanted to do.
There you go.
I just did it. So
would be one character.
I'm sorry, Kevin.
There would be one character that would make just tell everybody else to go on. And if Figment came out with a Halloween costume, I would do that. I would wait the whole party.
Figment with a dragon mask or something on. That'll be
yeah. I mean, I would wait the whole party for that.
He's on popcorn bucket. Figment with a Figment popcorn bucket.
Whatever it is, I would wait for it.
And one of the things, Kevin, that might help you out. I know it kind of helped me out as well. When you get there, they give you a map, right, of where the candy locations and things that are going on. But you can look online and kind of see that now and see where the characters are. And if you get there at 4:00 or and do some things, maybe get in line. The party starts officially at 7, but get in line maybe at 6 for the must-do characters. And maybe you can say, hey, what's the must-do character or characters you want to do, right? So that you can get the most from it. And then get in line at 6. People will probably already be in line, but at 7 or so, when they get out there, you'll be one of the first to get your picture, and then you can kind of do some other things, right? The good thing is that you do have another day in Magic Kingdom too. So to Jody's point, you can still do the rides and stuff with them as well. So I think you're approaching it, smart, right, and wise. Take advantage of the things that's only available during the party, and then after that, just knock the other stuff out during your regular Magic Kingdom day.
That's true.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a really cool time for them to go for their first time because they'll get to see that limited crowd experience and some of the unique fun stuff. How old are the kids from the couple that's going with you?
So my two are 10 and 9, and theirs are 9 and 7.
Okay. So they're at a really good age for it too.
Yeah, and as a family, every year, this group, we all trick or treat together in my neighborhood. So we're this will be the 4th year in a row that we've all gone trick or treating, and we all thought it'd be cool to do, this year at Disney. So
Okay, Kevin, have you picked costumes yet?
no,
Oh,
not
so
yet.
I have to admit that's the hardest thing because the weather in Florida can be so unpredictable. It could be a million degrees, as we all know, or it could be freezing, Lonnie. Like, what race weekend was that you ran that was freezing?
That would be marathon weekend.
Of what year?
Super cold. Oh gosh, it
2018.
was a couple of them. Two. Which one, Kevin, was the coldest of the cold?
2018.
2018. Yeah.
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 So
That was
so
bad.
again, that fall to winter time frame, you could either be freezing or burning hot. You could so that's our or soaking wet or anything in between. So but it is pretty cool to everybody. I don't want to say everybody. A lot of people dress in costume for the Halloween parties, or if not, at least they have some Halloween garb on, like whether it's just like Happy Halloween shirt. That's pretty,
Oh,
pretty fun. Oh,
that is a
well,
very nice
for Lonnie G,
blazer you have there.
you
Mhm.
have a Halloween blazer.
It's
Yes,
sharp.
it's the Mickey Halloween blazer.
Wow.
Okay, you want to tell our listeners what you're wearing, Lonnie?
Yes, I'm wearing the Mickey's Halloween blazer. It's supposed to glow in the dark. We shall see.
Okay,
But,
so what is adorning your blazer? What type of?
I have Mickey pumpkins, actually. So yeah, with the Mickey ears on, and a skeleton with a Mickey hat.
So I believe it's a black blazer with
Mhm.
orange and white highlights of
Mhm.
pumpkins and various motif.
Very nice classic lapel there as well.
Thank you, sir.
I'm really digging your action right now with that.
And these are spiced pumpkins, by the way.
Of course.
Just for
There is no other way to have a pumpkin,
No other
right?
way.
I mean, come on.
No other way.
There's a whole subculture created from the pumpkin spice latte.
And Lonnie, when are you
Amazing.
going to wear that jacket?
Well, I'm going to wear this jacket to if it's too warm, I'm not going to wear it to the party, but I am wearing it on the cruise where they actually have a Halloween on the high seas. So I will be dressed up. This is my costume for Halloween on the high seas, where I will continue to trick or treat, Gene.
Yes, they
Oh,
also offer
sweet.
trick or treating on the ship for those of you who don't know. But we will
So
talk
that's a
about
whole nother element. So
I'm
you
getting
got
2 days of trick or treating.
So you're doing the not so scary, and then you're doing it having it on the high seas.
Exactly, sir.
Man.
And the candy is the Dove chocolate. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I love Dove chocolate,
And
which actually used to be the official chocolate at Marathon Weekend. But then last marathon they had the Milky Way. That's not a good chocolate for Marathon Weekend. Yeah, that's not a good chocolate.
Hmm.
And FYI, Gene, you probably don't remember. You actually ran 2018.
No,
Dopey.
I was muted. I was saying 2018. I said it about 15 times.
Well, well, as long as you had the mute button on. So that was that was Gene's first Dopey. Mine too, and it was extremely cool.
It was
Right
kind of
through ESPN.
Oh yeah. But don't worry. Hopefully it's not that cold next year when we do it with John Crawl. 2024, 25, right, John?
Yes.
2025 Marathon Weekend. Sign up now, Gene. Get ready.
Let's go.
the year that Jody turns 50, so we're all running Dopey.
Well, I may not do Dopey, but I will do the marathon.
You doping it. You doping it.
No, that sounds terrible.
You're going to run the marathon, you're going to do Dopey. You can do it.
My problem is I don't want to wake up that early and spend so much money to just wake up early and go to bed early. No.
Okay, John. We got you.
John,
You understand.
we're here for
John's
you.
doing it. John's doing it. You
I
have
will
to do
run
him like
the
we do
marathon.
Gene. Okay, we got you.
Listen, if this old lady's going to run it, you're going to run it.
That's an extra 3 days, though, that I have to find someone to watch all of the animals that live with me, all my roommates. And that's a lot. That's a lot to ask of someone.
Yes.
Yeah, you got a whole year and a half to get that lined up. So, yeah, we're good. We're
Start
good.
begging.
Start now.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I guess. We'll see.
Birthday, Christmas, all those things. Start asking for them.
For me to go. I mean,
Yes.
I'm an adult. I could just buy the ticket myself.
Mhm.
No, I mean for people to watch your children.
Oh, I thought you meant like for
That's the gift that they
race.
can give to you. They can give you the gift of watching our
Oh.
children, so you can go do these races.
Fine point. Yeah.
And speaking of the party, guys, if the ticket isn't enough and you have just a few more bucks, there are also some other things that you can do. There are the not so spooky dessert party. I don't know if you guys saw that. So for an additional fee, you can get viewing for the fireworks and additional desserts. Right. So Yeah,
Did not
that's
see
in
that.
Tomorrowland Terrace and at the Plaza Garden. So 2
So,
spots.
so Lonnie, I don't know how I feel about this.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just gonna be real.
Be real. Keep it real. We keep it real
Do it.
here.
Listen,
Yeah, it's the only way to be.
you're talking
You don't
about
wanna be fake.
I've already spent money to get into a special event. And
Mhm.
now you want me to spend extra money to have a special viewing to watch a special thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all
Genius.
for it. I am all for spending money for the dessert party and a general viewing area because all the humans who don't know anything about Disney, they're all out there and they're touching elbows and pushing me out and they don't know anything. I don't want to be around them. So I like my little bubble for the dessert party. Okay, that's normal night. But when we're going for a Halloween party, there's a smaller population.
Mhm.
Now I want to spend extra money for a smaller population. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
Hey,
I'm
I'm
the
with you
same
on
way.
that. I'm just don't shoot
What
the
is
messenger.
what the rate is on that?
I think it's an additional
That's-
$90.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
I
a
mean,
lot. It's the same as
it's
the
a lot.
regular one.
Yeah, I would not want to do it myself. So I'm with you, Jody, 100%. I'm glad you mentioned it. But being that we have to give the viewers what they want, sometimes
It's true.
they may need to know that option.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's fun for all of us to go down there, watch the Halloween party, and then go to the Halloween party dessert party. We won't complain. We will totally take you up on it.
Oh, yeah. I'm one of our sponsors.
Yeah, somebody, if you need a friend to come with you to the party, please feel free to reach out to me. And
Honestly, 1 + 5. So
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
you do have to deal with my 5 children as well. So
the
anybody's got an
Halloween
extra
party.
$1,000 laying around, wants to buy us a ticket.
Come on.
We're in.
Halloween party, Christmas party, Club 33, anything you need us to come
Yeah.
to,
oh,
let
Club
us know.
33. We can definitely review that.
Yeah,
can do that.
VIP tours if you just want us to join in for comedic
We
relief.
don't charge anywhere near what they charge for VIP tours.
No, I'm saying I'll join in with their VIP tour just to
That's
bring
good.
some extra comedic relief.
I mean,
They
you
want
think
it.
we're funny on here.
Yeah.
You see us when we like in face to face.
You don't even understand.
It's a new level.
Yep.
Keen looks so funny right now.
Yeah. No, it really is. It's like we get in that flow state. Gene is just angry tonight. But so the Halloween parties, I guess, for the value and everything you get out of it and the cost, what do you guys think about it? Is it something that you would recommend a friend who's going to Disney to do or not do? I mean, what do you guys think?
Go around the horn, John.
All right, Lonnie, what about you?
Well, yeah, since I already got my tickets for September, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm all in.
All right, Gene?
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, if I'm by myself, yeah, sure. I mean, it's Mickey's money. But if my family's with me, it's just something I've got to count the cost, so to speak. Figure out that's a lot of money. And my family typically we don't stay out late always. So maybe I have to think about the situation. But it sounds fun, and that's a lot of candy. But it's a big ticket item too. So
yeah,
you're already spending so much money. And as Jody said in the beginning, it's it's more than the price of a ticket in the park. You've already like when I went at this time of year, we went for a week. And as she said, the more days you go, the less it is per day. Obviously, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah. And I mean that's the big downside of it, but it's a lot of money.
Mickey's money.
But they continue to sell them out, which is insane. So yeah. So Kevin, what do you think? Because you're going to it. You can give us an update after you get back.
Yeah. So yeah, we've obviously committed to doing that. I think coming back afterwards and kind of giving a recap of what our thoughts are from a perspective of a group like my family that goes a little more often, and then a group that has never been to Disney World at all. It'll be kind of interesting. I'm curious to see how they take it and what they think. But for this situation, I think it, like I said, we've trick or treated together. I think it's a no brainer for us. And from what I've learned from you guys at the parks and being at the parks for several years, and I think I can show them a pretty good time. And I think it'll be a good thing. I think we're really excited about it.
Awesome. All right. Jody, what do you think? Worth it?
I am, out of all the hard ticket events, this is one of my favorites. I love the parade. I love the fireworks. I love the special characters. I love this one more than I love the Christmas one. I've done this one 3 times now, so I'm a big believer. I don't think I would do it if it was my first time to Disney, but I do love this event, especially if your kids can hang a little later. So yeah, I'm all for it. It's expensive, but there are so many benefits and so many unique opportunities that you just don't get on an everyday basis.
Yeah, and I'm 100% in on all of the parties, but especially the Halloween one, because I think it's just such a cool time of year, and everything else. They just do such a good job with it. But you're right, Jody. That point about kids is, we went to this one and we went to the Christmas one, and both of them we had kids pass out around 9 o'clock. Which, if that's we had enough kids that the few that were awake still enjoyed it. But if you only have one or two of those things and they fall asleep, you spent a lot of money for your kid to
Well,
get in there.
and that's something that we're looking at too. So with a family, and each of us will have our own transportation, and so we've already talked that through. If we're going to have an early crowd and a later crowd, and so one group that they're tired, they can go on back, and the rest of us can stay, and we'll have a ride and all that kind of thing. So that's why we've made it a priority to have two cars there that can handle the group. So
Yeah, that's a really good idea, because then, like you said, somebody can go back to the hotel with the kids who want to go back, and then the people and kids who want to stay can stay at the park and continue to have fun. So that's a really good plan.
I just think, everyone talks about the holidays in Disney, and don't get me wrong, I love the holidays. I mean, I know, John, you're all about the holidays, but
Yes.
I love fall. I love fall. I'm not necessarily a Halloween person, but I love fall. And I just think they do such a good job of incorporating all that. I think it's a great party, a great atmosphere. I just love the orange and the pumpkin spice, all that pumpkin spice. Gene, Kevin, did you hear the pumpkin spice? Monty, boys, did you hear that pumpkin spice? All that pumpkin spice.
I can sense it. Like my pumpkin PSL sense is tingling lately.
we talked a
I'm
lot
ready to
about
go.
the party. We talked a lot about Magic Kingdom. You mentioned briefly some of the things that the other parks have. Is there another park that really does it well beyond just the decorations, or is it more of just kind of in general typical park day, I guess, at the other parks?
I think personally, because I've been there during this time, just hadn't gone to the party. Magic Kingdom is the spot for like the best decorations for Halloween, right? I tend to lean to Hollywood Studios for Christmas, so it's I'm a little different.
I love their decorations too.
Yeah. Animal Kingdom, like Jody said earlier, have a couple of things here and there, but I mean, if you really want to get the big fall Halloween, it's there. And I will say this too, though, Disney Springs has some nice things going on as well during the fall.
They do.
Right.
We're planning today there too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, and I mean, right now we're talking about Halloween parties that started August 11th. That's not exactly fall. That is the worst part of summer.
Yeah. So Tim and I got married on September 22nd, and that's officially maybe the second day of fall, first day of fall. Like
some years it's not, because we got married on September 22nd and it was still summer. And Katie really wanted a fall wedding. So who brought that up every year on our anniversary? This guy.
Okay, so September something, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, whatever is the first day of fall. So I'm team fall. I love everything fall. I don't feel like there's a lot at Animal Kingdom. Obviously Epcot has fall Food and Wine Festival, which it used to be very fallish, now starts in mid-July, which is so silly. But yeah, I feel like Magic Kingdom is really the place for all the fall festivities, in my opinion. I mean,
so you mentioned,
but
I wanted on what is that? When does that one start in Epcot?
Food and Wine.
Wine started. It's already started.
It's July 27th through November 18th. You're there.
Yep. Get ready for some beer cheese soup in the middle of 110-degree weather.
And Gene's favorite continent is there too.
Yeah, South America.
South America.
South America, the pavilion.
Legit.
So hot. It's so
To
hot.
dry.
It is not a dry. It's a very moist heat. Very moist.
It is moist.
Yeah, we're talking very high levels of moisture, Lonnie.
Yeah.
Off the charts.
Okay.
Of what? Off the charts of what?
Humidity.
Moistness.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, I'm really excited for you and your friends to go on your trip, and I can't wait for you to tell us all about it. I hope you have a great time. I know that Gene's anxiously anticipating your report to hear all about all the things he's never done, which is the vast majority of it, right, Gene?
What's funny though is that it's been like 15 years since I went at this time of year, and it was a great trip. We went with two other families. It's it's the first time I ever really went. I went for a day once before that, and it really didn't count when I was in high school. I remember some big things, but there a lot of the details I don't remember because it was just a long time ago. I don't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday.
Yeah. Facts.
Word.
Anything else that you guys want to talk about related to fall at Disney before we move on to the next segment?
No, I think I'm interested to talk about food and wine on the next show or the next couple of shows. I think that's one of my favorite festivals as well. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I mean, food and wine are two of my favorite things to eat or consume. So I'm excited about that too. But before we get to that, we need to make some folks giggle. I think it seems like it's been a long week for a few of us. So let's move into quacking up with the ducks. Lonnie,
Yes.
Can you make us quack up?
I will try my best. I got a question for you guys. What do you call a wizard who's good with ceramics?
I don't know.
Harry Pottery.
Nice.
Funny enough, that's what my son used to call Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Kevin, what do you got for us this week?
Okay, what's the ratio of an orange gourd's circumference to its diameter? Pumpkin pie.
That's what I thought.
I love it.
That's because pie not squared, pie round.
Pies are round, not squared.
Oh, Kevin, I got to use that one at work. Oh man, that's a
I had to
good
put that one in there.
one. Gene, what do you got?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Philip.
Philip who?
Fill up this bag with candy because I'm at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party.
Nice.
That's an original Gene joke right
Yeah.
there.
That is. That's a good one, Gene.
Jody, do you have a joke?
Yeah, I do. So we've been doing everything in my son's room this past week. So cleaning and doing a lot of stuff. So why do the ghosts starch his sheets?
I don't know.
Why?
He wanted everyone scared stiff.
Nice.
Oh man. Talking about Halloween got me thinking about like ghosts and stuff, and I was wondering, what does a panda ghost eat?
A panda?
Panda?
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
the bear.
Oh yeah.
Bamboo.
Ooh.
Oh.
That was great.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. So, all right. Well, thank you everybody for listening this long. Again, we mentioned at the beginning of the show, but if you can get out there and give us a review, share our show with some of your friends, that'll all help other people find us. And come over to our Facebook group, Disney with the Ducks, and join in on some of the fun conversations we have over there. I guess with that, till next time, Kwaherini.
Bye, friends.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
See you later. Thank you.